What's going on, everybody? This is Kevin, and welcome back to another video doing something a little bit different. Reminder, that's a kid's show. They just showed a Clone getting his arm severed by Darth Maul. And this is a sort of video, just my appreciation for the Star Wars universe, mainly the prequel universe, and how great it really is. So, a quick little story. I grew up watching the prequels first, as a matter of fact. I remember going to the theaters as a young boy, seeing The Phantom Menace, and I liked it. I liked the action scenes. I thought Jar Jar Binks was funny. Like, as a young child, it was goofy and funny. The lightsaber battles with Darth Maul. For a long time, Darth Maul was my favorite. I had the action figures, I had the Legos, and it was such a shame that they killed him in that movie. And I liked the Attack of the Clones, you know, seeing the battle at the end, Geonosis, and all that sort of thing, and really Revenge of the Sith. Even the people that hate the prequels find something to like about Revenge of the Sith just because of the tragic turn of Anakin Skywalker betraying his master Obi-Wan Kenobi and all the other Jedis and so on and so forth. And you really see the struggle with him and how when he defends Emperor Palpatine and assists in getting Mace Windu thrown out of the building there in Coruscant, you see immediately he says, "What have I done? What have I done?" And at that point he serves Darth Sidious because he's been lied to and thinking that, well, he's seen the vision of Padme dying, giving childbirth, and he thinks that the dark side is the only way to save his wife because of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis, how he could cheat death and that sort of thing. And then after watching that, really, I saw The Phantom Menace first, and then my parents showed me the original trilogy, and I watched New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And I loved them all. I for all different reasons. I loved in New Hope, you had a lot of like space battles, like going at the end there, the Battle of Yavin 4, blowing up the Death Star. With Empire Strikes Back, I loved the change of scenery and Hoth, and the battle with Darth Vader. And at that point, I had no idea. Luke was Darth Vader's son, and Darth Vader was Luke's father, and it took everyone by surprise. And then Return of the Jedi. People don't like it. I personally like the Jabba the Hutt scenes, Boba Fett, the Ewoks, and once again the battle of destroying the second Death Star with Lando Calrissian leading the front, and Luke having his deal with Darth Vader turning back to good. And as a kid, I had the VHSs and I had the DVDs, and now I have the Blu-rays, and always watch them. May the Fourth be with you. Just watch through them again. Of course, bits and pieces. It was on TBS all day, and I caught a little bit of Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi when I was watching it. And really, I remember watching the Clone Wars in 2003, the original animated series by the same guy who did Samurai Jack, which is another great show. And it was, I think, 2 seasons, and it ran from 2003 to 2005. Really great stuff. That was your first introduction to General Grievous, your first introduction to Asajj Ventress, and great battles. Like, the first season was really quiet. There were short, like, mini episodes, like, not even 10 minutes long, and it showed like Kit Fisto doing cool stuff, all the Jedi's doing cool stuff. I remember the one with Mace Windu taking on all the super battle droids by himself. And then towards the end of season 2, it brought in, like, at the very end there, it showed Grievous really showing full display, cutting down Jedi's. It was like Ki-Adi Mundo and a few others survived and got rescued by the clone ARC troopers and Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then it showed General Grievous going to Coruscant right before the events of Revenge of the Sith, kidnapping Chancellor Palpatine, massacring, I think he killed Shaak Ti and all those other Jedis, and got set up right for Revenge of the Sith. And then I remember watching in 2008 the Clone Wars movie, the original animated movie. It was kind of, wasn't really the best. It was, Ahsoka, the introduction to her, and rescuing like Rada the Hutt. I saw it once, to be honest with you. I never even seen it after that. Didn't really care for it too much. And then watching the Clone Wars animated series in 2008, it had highs and lows. The way you watch it, it's kind of weird. You look online, and you don't start with Season 1, Episode 1. You start with, like, Season 3, and then you go to Season 4, and you switch back and forth and do all these different things. But really, there are some great arcs in the Clone Wars cartoon show. I mean, really, anything with Cad Bane is must-watch. I love the character Hondo Ohnaka, who appears again in Star Wars Rebels. You get Saul Guerrero in the Clone Wars. You get young Boba Fett trying to kill Mace Windu for revenge on his father, Jango Fett. You get some great arcs with Asajj Ventress and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the whole plot with Mandalore. And then Savage Opress reuniting with his brother Darth Maul, who magically survived the Phantom Menace after getting his limbs severed, his legs severed, and got mechanical legs. And really, that's when my love for the character Darth Maul reignited again. I always loved him from the Phantom Menace. He was a badass, acted by, doing the stunt work by Ray Park, great martial artist who was in the 2 G.I. Joe movies as Snake Eyes, and actually did play Darth Maul again as the cameo in Solo, and also just recently did the motion capture work in this last season of the Clone Wars. But you have these great arcs and stuff like that. And when I heard they were doing season 7, I mean, I was just blown away. And the first, I watched it all. And the first 4 episodes were really good with the Bad Batch, with all these deformed 99, after that one clone trooper who didn't pass inspection. And you have all these sort of super soldiers doing their mission. And then after that, you got the 4 episodes with Ahsoka and the sisters, which was kind of It wasn't really that good. I understand it developed her character, but the last 4 episodes there with Darth Maul and the voice work by Sam Witwer, I believe his name is, absolutely incredible. Like, she's talking to him, and he's saying, "Oh, I was hoping for Kenobi," and then they're just going back and forth, and he's like, "It's Anakin Skywalker will bring apart the end of the Jedi," and Ahsoka's just beside herself, and just the way he does this chuckle, and he says, "Oh, I'm afraid not. Oh, you must join me." And it's incredible. They have this incredible duel. She captures them. They're on the ship, and at that point, she's in the ship, and they use the actual voice work of Hayden Christensen and Mace Windu going, "What have I done? What have I done?" And Mace Windu saying, "No, Anakin, he's too powerful to be kept alive." And it's just absolutely incredible. I was just blown away by it, that they use that audio. And then Rex gets the transmission from Darth Sidious and says, "Execute Order 66." And Rex says, "Will be done, Lord Sidious." And then he turns around to Ahsoka, and I'm sure if you're a Star Wars fan, you've seen it. And his hands, his 2 pistols is shaking. He goes, "Find him! Find him! Fives! Find him! Fives! Ah!" And then Ahsoka bats him down. And at that point, she finds these astromech droids to look into Clone Trooper 5555, also Fives. And, she looks into it and figures out, because in season 6, he had found out in the inhibitor chip that all the clones have the inhibitor chip to turn on the Jedi. And he wanted to tell everyone. But at that point, Chancellor Palpatine was like, "Oh, we can't have this one talking," and had him assassinated, not before he told Captain Rex. And so Ahsoka's able to get the inhibitor chip out of Captain Rex, and they make their escape. Meanwhile, you have the other clone trooper, Jesse, and all these other clone troopers firing away at him. In a couple episodes ago, they painted their helmets orange in symbolism of Ahsoka. And they're all fighting with her, giving her the salute and everything, and then they're trying to kill her the next minute just because of Order 66 and how they were programmed to do so. And it's really a tragic end. The music going along with it, absolutely incredible. And now, I had never seen Star Wars Rebels all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of it. And I have seen the part where, you have Captain Rex as an old stormtrooper meets Kanan and Ezra and all them. And it's him, Commander Wolf, who was Plo Koon's, commander, who had also removed his inhibitor chip. And then Captain Gregor, who was one of the lost clone troopers on a faraway planet who had his head all scrambled up, so his inhibitor chip didn't work either. And then it's explained either in a novel or in an epilogue or something that Captain Rex was on the Battle of Endor with the Rebels. And I think that that's incredible. And I know in the original A New Hope, Obi-Wan Kenobi's talking to Luke in the very beginning, saying he fought with his father in the Clone Wars, in the Great Clone Wars. And I mean, I know George Lucas was kind of making it up as he went along, but how awesome would it have been if on the Battle of Endor, you have the Rebellion fighters there, and you have like this old man, and they're like, Han Solo's like, "Who's that guy?" "Oh, that's Captain Rex. He fought in the Clone Wars." How awesome would that have been? But really, watching those last 4 episodes makes me appreciate Star Wars so much. I know there's so much negativity with the sequel trilogy, and really the sequel trilogy does not compete with any of the originals. And honestly, at this point, through watching the Clone Wars cartoon and reading expanded novels and comics, the prequel trilogy is the best. It is absolutely the best. I love the original trilogy, but without a doubt, the prequel trilogy is my favorite, personally. And just the characters that you get out of it, I love it. I love it so much. And you get all this negativity of, and yeah, current Star Wars sucks, but the fact that we have stuff like the Clone Wars that we just got, The Mandalorian was very good, so they got season 2 going with that. And I've heard that they're working on something else with Star Wars Rebels, like a sort of sequel to that or something. And just watching the whole Darth Maul stuff, I love Darth Maul. And they had Ray Park play Darth Maul as the motion capture, and he also played Darth Maul in Solo. How awesome would it be if we got a live-action Darth Maul story after the Clone Wars, in between Rebels and Solo, because of him? It shows him, like, sending the Pike Syndicates and all of them, and it shows, like, some character that sort of looks like Dryden Voss, who was Paul Bettany in the Solo movie. How awesome would it be if we got live-action Ray Park playing Darth Maul again? I would love it. So, may the 4th be with everyone. Through all the negative Star Wars we have, there is positive Star Wars to look back on, and the fact that we got Season 7 Clone Wars, which I understand the first 4 episodes are already done, but, you got this great stuff with Ahsoka and Darth Maul. That was incredible. And there's still some other stuff, like what happened to Asajj Ventress. They can still milk it. I mean, you can do more. You can do stuff with Asajj Ventress, because it's expanded in comics that Asajj Ventress teams up with, what's the guy's name? Vosk, I think his name is. The guy with, like, the dreadlocks. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But one of the other Jedis. You know who I'm talking about. So, anyway, I'm just so excited talking about it. I love it. So, this has gone on far enough. Thank you all for watching. I hope you watch Star Wars The Clone Wars. If you just binge the last 4 episodes, even if you don't even like current Star Wars or anything, or if you don't like if you're one of those idiots who's like, oh, I hate the Phantom Menace because Jar Jar Binks is annoying and Attack of the Clones is boring. Dude, you get a life. Come on. You gotta watch The Clone Wars. The Clone Wars is great. I love it. So, anyway, may the 4th be with you. Star Wars is great. Don't listen to Mini Jeremy and all these other weirdos. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one.